Welcome, welcome, everybody. We have a special guest on tonight. But before we start, I just want to say thanks for everyone who has tuned in, locked in, and waiting for this moment. We appreciate you guys both on my end and on our guest end. So please, as we begin, I would love for you to interact with us in the chat. Give us the like button, the thumbs up on both sides, and always connect to our guests once they have a YouTube channel. All right, and without further ado, we will welcome our guest, Mr. Apex State, and I'm sure he might introduce his real name, but this is his YouTube name. He is a great fitness instructor, and he will tell you so much more when we get him on the stage. All right, without further ado, we will welcome. Give me the drum roll. Boom, 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 boom.
Drum rolls.
Yes, and
Hey
that's
guys, how you doing?
what I need. A drum roll.
Well, like a soundbite drum roll.
Yes. Well, I welcome you tonight, and I appreciate the time that you take to actually come on and do our
Yeah, no,
interview. We appreciate it.
no, it's absolutely fine.
Yes. So, I just introduced you, but please take the time to introduce who you are
hmm
and what you do so that
Right,
our
okay.
audience. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. So, my real name's actually Bernard. It's not Apex, obviously not. That's just like a little stage name, a name that I just kind of sort of came up with that kind of goes with like the whole fitness thing and all the
Yeah.
content that you see on YouTube. But I suppose in a nutshell of who I am, it's obviously a fitness guy, a guy that's into fitness, but I think more than that, it's more about me kind of creating a life that expresses what I really want to do. What I mean by that is because obviously you have like well, this is how I see it at least. There's sort of
Yeah.
like the educational background that you come from, right? And sort of like the job path that you kind of do out of survival. Not necessarily what you want to do, like
Right.
not what you really want to do, but something that's kind of like what you're molded into doing as the years go by and as you listen to society telling you that, oh, you need to study such and such, go here, do this, do that.
Mm-hmm.
So officially, I do like finance, but I that was not necessarily something that was a true like representation of what
Yeah.
I kind of always wanted. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously, I'll expound upon that later on. But eventually, I just got to a point where I said, you know what? I just want to do things my way now, and I want to be able to express that as clearly as possible. And obviously, there's a lot more to it, but creating
Yeah.
like my own sort of brand, doing something that I genuinely enjoy doing,
Mm-hmm.
was a part of that. So I suppose if you're asking a question, who am I? Um,
Yeah.
I'd say it's a guy that kind of is creating, obviously Bernard, yeah, real name, but a guy that's kind of creating his own sort of thing and is creating his own sort of sense of freedom and encourages others to do the same thing. I think that answers that question.
That's nice. I think I, we came across you. I don't. There was whether we were doing a live and you just came in the chat and you became a subscriber and member, and we were like, oh, what does he do? And for the longest time, it was like we should get him on. He what he has on his page is really interesting. It's really intriguing, and
Appreciate
I'm like, we need to get him on. And so I think it was my mom that actually reached out and made the connection and so forth, and then we just kind of took it from there, and now we're here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I appreciate it because I mean, this isn't the first live show interview that I've done. I've done quite a few on Instagram already, but
Huh?
I think it was the first one on YouTube. It's the first one
Oh,
on YouTube, I would say, like the first interview. But I've done like quite a few on Instagram before, and I've always kind of found them as good opportunities to sort of, just reach out to people and just kind of let people know kind of the real idea behind this. Because I think sometimes people, especially when I read some of the comments I get on some of the videos I do, I think people get caught up too much in the fitness side of things, which is understandable because that's all you're
yeah,
seeing. But
of
uh,
course.
they don't really have that opportunity to kind of well, not yet at least, to kind of grasp the mindset behind it. I think so.
Right.
I think that's why these live shows are pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely. Well, we kind of You kind of touched on what you touched on what you do, but how long have you been doing this for?
When you say this, do you mean like the brand stuff or the training or both?
Both.
Both. Okay. Training. I've been doing that since I was. Well, I've always been sort of like into fitness. Like even when I was like 10 years old and stuff. Like
Okay.
always, I was always that guy that was like on the school football team and was always into PE, athletics. Obviously, I loved like other subjects as well. So I was really good at maths. Hence why I do finance now. But long story.
That's
But
another thing.
yeah, but yeah, that's like that's another thing. But yeah, no. But when it came to like official like training, I started that when I was like 15. How old? I think I was like 15, 16. And then from there, that's when, and it's funny because I started doing it like joining an actual club after
Mm,
watching Usain Bolt running in the Olympics for the first time. And I thought to myself, and it's weird because you wouldn't really, how do you jump from like martial arts and gymnastics and all the other stuff, and from
yeah.
watching a man running a 100-meter dash? And I know it's a bit weird, but I literally looked at that and I thought, you know what? Because I've always been into, like I said, I'd always done like athletics. I'd always done football, basketball, athletics,
Right.
100-meter sprint, 200-meter sprint,
Mhm.
things like that when I was in like primary school and secondary school. So I kind of got bored with all of that, and I said, you know what? I kind of always liked like gymnastics and calisthenics and weapons and stuff like that. And then when I was 16, I just signed up to a club that was near like the area that I was living in at the time, and I sort of just built up from there really.
Sweet. That's nice. I mean, so I mean, you could basically say that what you're doing is really your passion from a youth,
Mm.
and that's
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, exactly. And I think you get to a point where you start to get really honest with yourself, and you start to
Mhm.
just look at the way things are, and you're like, okay, if I could, I always use this term, if I could Thanos snap reality and change things exactly the way I want it to be,
Mhm.
would it be the life that you're living right now? Like, would it be the sort of like uh, line of work that you're doing right now? Obviously, you can't do that. You don't have the power to like warp reality like that to that
Right.
extent. But you can start to be. You can start by being honest with yourself. Like, you can start by just
Mhm.
looking at making certain steps towards getting to exactly what you want. But I think it starts with being, like I said, being honest with yourself, with
Yes.
what you want and how you intend to go about getting that, and then after COVID, no, actually, no, when COVID happened, that
Uh-huh.
was ironically, COVID was one of those things where it was obviously, yeah, it was a sad event, but it
Yes.
kind of gave me an opportunity to kind of like break into a completely different mindset and
Mhm.
start looking at different options. Because at the time, I was working 100% in finance, and
Okay.
obviously, some of the views aren't from like London, so they don't know the ins and outs. But I was working for there's an organization called the Royal British Legion, which is
Okay.
like a massive national charity across the UK. So if you're
Mm.
from the UK, you're from London, and you know what I'm talking about. Like the people behind the Poppies Remembrance Day,
Yeah.
that's the Royal British Legion. And as I was there, the funny thing is, I actually liked working there. Like I liked the job itself. I liked the people. I liked the location because London Bridge is quite. It's like a nice sort of upscale kind of area. So after you
Okay.
finish university and you jump into a place like that, you feel
Mhm.
good about yourself. You're like, yeah, I've done it. But then when
Mhm.
COVID came and basically everybody started working from home then, and I
Mhm.
stopped. And at the time, I could never fathom that. Like working from home was a foreign idea to me. It was something that was, you only did that when you was like 50 years old and had like earned your stripes in the organization. But
Right.
I started to really like the freedom with that, and I was like, and then I thought about, it, I was like, hang on a second, why am I commuting into central London almost every single day when I
Mhm.
could just open up a laptop and do the work from home? Like I don't have to go into the office. I don't have to do any of that. And I started
Right.
to really like the flexibility of that. And
Mhm.
then from there, I I just sat. I remember sitting down thinking, hang on a second, why am I even doing like where did this idea come from? Like, did it come
Mhm.
from me? Is it something I really want to do, or is it really just when you as you get older, you start to be realistic and or quote unquote, you start to be
Yes.
realistic you start to make compromises and small concessions as time goes on to doing things that you wouldn't really want to do, but you just think you have to survive. And
Yes.
then I started to slowly unravel that, and and the funny thing is, during COVID, that was a time where a lot of things changed for me, just in the way I
Mm-hmm.
saw like life and tons of different areas of life. It changed
Mm-hmm.
through, the people that I was interacting with, and a lot of content creators on YouTube started blowing
Yeah.
up in COVID because no one else had anything to do other than sit down and watch TV or watch the phone all day. And
Exactly.
yeah, and then I started to think about that, and I was like, hang on a second. I've seen this content creator go from 0 subscribers to 250,000 subscribers in the space of 2 years. Like, there's a specific. I'm not going to mention their name because but
Right.
I've seen several content creators start out in COVID, and right now to this day, they've got like nearly over 1 million subscribers because they took
Whoa.
advantage of that time where nobody could do anything other than just sit down and watch TV, and then they
Mm-hmm.
leveraged that. And then I thought to myself, I was like, hang on. So it started out with remote working, and then it went up a step, and I was like, hang on a second. How
Uh-huh.
is it that this ordinary person manage to create something for themselves that gives them freedom to do
Right.
whatever it is that they want to do and make a huge ton of money for it. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm still working for this massive organization. Obviously, yeah, it's a nice organization and all that, but I don't have the freedom that I really want with that.
But it
I'm
made
subject
you,
to somebody
like you
else's.
said, it was a mind shift. COVID really like changed your perspective on a lot of things, and that sounded like it just triggered something in you. Like, So yeah.
Yeah, it really did, and it opened up my eyes to a lot of things. The irony is, I say it opened up my eyes, but the truth
Hmm.
is, I was never blind to these things to begin with. Like, I always knew, but as
Right.
time goes on, you kind of get caught up in like the survival instincts and just trying to getting from day to day. But then when something really big happens, and then it shifts your focus back to that problem, you're like, hang on a second.
Yeah.
I
No.
feel I don't want to say I'm being scammed because I don't want to say that, but on some level, I do kind of feel like I'm being scammed because I
The
don't have to
mental
do any
shift.
of this. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
like it was a complete mental shift, and then from there, I started to look at things. It's like, all right, what do I really enjoy doing? Like, what do
Hmm.
I really like doing? Can I create something? What is it? And then I came to the realization that I don't necessarily have a dream job. Like,
Okay.
I don't have a dream job. I have a dream life, but not a
Right.
dream job. Like when I
Hmm.
was a kid, I could never. Whenever people in school would ask, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" I
Uh-huh.
never had an answer to that. In terms of
Oh.
work, yeah, no, I never had a genuine, sincere answer. Where,
Hmm.
because obviously some people said they want to be a doctor, they want to be a lawyer, all this other stuff.
Right.
Some people said they wanted to be in banking, finance, accounting, which is the field, one of the fields I'm in now. And I can
Yeah.
attest, at least from my personal experience, I don't really enjoy it that much. But yeah, just if I'm just
You
being
just
honest with you,
didn't have anything to say at that time. It was like pass.
yeah, I had nothing to say at that time, but it took me decades. Well, I say decades, I'm still in my 20s, but it took me a while to just come to the realization that, yeah, I don't have a dream job, I have a dream life. And I came to the other realization that a job, in a traditional sense, should really be a means to an end because it's not going to help me get to that dream life
Hmm.
in a grand sense. Like, it's not a thing where you get the job and then, oh, poof, you've got that dream job, you've got that dream life all of a sudden. Like, that's
Right.
not gonna happen. So I just said, okay, all these jobs for the most part, I'm gonna have to use them as stepping stones, and I'm gonna have to create my own thing on the side with my own plan, and then that's gonna get me the
Right.
dream life that I'm looking for. It can't be this old way of thinking that I used to have.
So when you started to realize that you wanted to create that pathway to your dream job, like did you actually, some people write their plans down step by step. I'm sorry, before I continue, there are some people in the chat saying hello to you, hello to us, and greeting us. Like I see Susanna Morihan, proud single mother. I see Being Mazan. Thank you so much for being in the chat. And I see someone else from your connection,
Yeah,
SSCTV.
I recognize some of these people. Hey guys, how you doing?
thank you all for being in the chat and participating and just, tuning in tonight. We appreciate you. I have to, like you said, shout them out because I'm just like when you have a guest in your home, if they come in and they wait and you don't say anything, it's like, what am I
Yeah,
here?
you got to give a little acknowledgement for them. Yeah, no, that makes
For?
perfect sense. No, yeah, I recognize some of them, and I've got my other phone here as well, so I can see some of the comments that are coming through.
No,
So
well,
let me
you're
just
welcome to respond in the chat as well. But yeah, getting back to when you started to realize that, hey, I don't have my dream job and I want to get there.
mm,
Did you write this plan out step by step, or it was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna figure it out along the way? Like,
um, it's a weird one, a bit of both. Like, because even now, I use an Excel spreadsheet for the most part to like track everything, not just with this project, but like all the goals that I have in like all different areas of life. I have it all on an Excel spreadsheet with different sheets and
mm,
tables and plans and all this other stuff. But I still find it very effective to write things down. Like I have like a little, like, what was it? Progress planner, something like that. I think that's the term we'll use. And I use that to sort of,
right?
just write down my ideas and the years in which I want to get certain things down with. But initially, I never really wrote it down. Like I had it all in my head, and
Yeah.
I didn't know. Even now, I don't know all the answers to it. I've just been fortunate enough to kind of get to a certain point with things. But
Uh-huh.
I think what it is you. The best thing to do is to just start. Like you're not going to have all the answers straight away, and I don't think you necessarily need to. But the best thing you'll have to do is just start the project, even if you are just starting out with
Mm,
maybe one client, some social media pages. You don't know the logo yet. As time goes on, and as you build that up, you're going to meet people that will kind of like fall in line, or at least be
right,
accomplices to what you're doing, and you're going to be able to get more ideas, and you're going to start to say, "Oh, okay, that looks cool. Let me try that out." And oh,
right.
this is a good idea. That's a nice idea. Like even now, I've got right now things I'm working on.
Mhm.
Everything's really still in its beginning. It's still really in its infancy. Like there's a whole load of things that I'm going to be adding on, and
Right.
next year you're going to see like the next phase of all of that. But right now, everything that everyone's seen, it's just like me laying the foundations of the house. It's not even the house yet. It's just me making sure that I've laid the foundations to a point where when I start building the house,
Yeah.
it sticks and actually gets somewhere that I'm trying to get to.
That's awesome. And I mean, that's great that you are really that driven and focused. Um, because not everybody, our age, well, you said that you're in your 20s.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I'm 42, but it's same concept.
yeah. It
Not
is. It's not an
everybody
age thing.
is focused on what they want. So it's great to hear that you know where you want to be, and you're actually laying down the work for it, the foundation, so to speak, for it.
Yeah.
And as you lay those foundations down, you continue to like check yourself, check your list, and say, hey, okay, this is what I got right now. What's next? What do I need to get to that next level? And that's always
Mm,
important when you have a end goal in mind.
that's true. Yeah, and I think even now, like, what year was it? In 2022, that's when I
Yes.
started introducing the idea of like having like a clothing line with it. Like even now, I'm wearing one of my hoodies, but
Sweet.
it started out as an idea. That's kind of like what I'm driving at. Like it was a thing where there was a time where
Mhm.
I was writing out, oh, I'm going to get the first hoodie out, and I'm going to do this, and then eventually I've done that, and now I've been fortunate to have some people like order hoodies and outfits, and
Mm, mhm.
people collaborating with me and working with me to produce content to like promote like the clothing line things. Like there's a plan in place to kind of get that to where it needs to be in the future. But I think the main thing that I'm getting at is that these are all ideas that I just kind of took a chance on, and I'm still taking a chance on. And I think people should just go ahead and whatever idea that they have good reason to believe is going to facilitate. that kind of dream life that they want. I don't even want to call it. Actually, no. Let me not call it a dream life. The life that they want, because when you kind of, well, I think when you add the term dream life, it kind of makes it seem, not real, not realistic. When it really
Right.
is, like, um, you can definitely get that if you just stay focused on it, you work towards it, then you're
Hmm.
going to make some headway towards that. So forgive me, I don't want to call it dream life.
Right.
I'm just going to say the life that you want.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna, whatever ideas that you have in your mind, you need to just jump on them. I don't even think it's an age thing. Now, I get that
No,
as you get
not.
older, yeah, like it's not an age thing. Like you can start at any age, but I think the main hurdle that people have is obviously as they get older, they get more responsibilities. That could come in the way of like family and all this
Right.
other stuff, and also they can get too comfortable as well. Like with
Mhm.
what I'm doing, there are times when it's not comfortable at all. That doesn't mean that's bad, but there are times where it's not comfortable. Times where there are hurdles that you're gonna kind of have to just get over. And no matter how crazy it seems, even if you have to do it by yourself, because for the most part, I do this by
Yeah.
myself. I have someone helping me when it comes to making content for like the clothes and stuff. But for the
Okay.
most part, it's me, like it's me kind of like doing pioneering this whole thing, which is fine because I made it. So that
Right.
responsibility should kind of like fall on me to do it. But yeah, like I've had, I've been fortunate enough to just have people join in with that. But I think
Right.
before we move on to the next question, I just tell people whatever idea you have, just literally just start it, and then as time goes on, you'll figure
Hmm.
things out, you'll learn, and you'll be able to add on to that.
Exactly. Thank you for that. You mentioned that, right now it's like you pulling and doing everything. Do you plan on collaborating with like creating a team with your brand, enhancing your brand, other than the
Mm,
process that you have, or in terms of like what you're doing to stay
yeah, like
active and so forth? What's your
I
overall
think
goal?
eventually, like I would like to have like I've actually thought about this, and I think I'm kind of yes and no on that. One of the reasons why is I don't know if I should say this, but okay. So I wanted to have a team with like in-person trainers in like London area who and maybe kind of find a way to expand it. I'd have to look into that. But my plan
Okay.
was eventually to get, and this isn't the final goal, but this is just like one of the several steps, was to have
Right.
like a team of trainers that train under me. So obviously they go out and the clients they can have referrals with me, and then after I can assign them a trainer that lives not far from them, and they can go out and when they do the sessions they can wear my hoodie and all this other stuff, and then train the person there. I was thinking of that as one of like the schemes. I've got like 10 schemes with like 10 different avenues that need to be built upon, but one of the reasons why I'm a little bit hesitant on that is because
Mhm.
I hate to say it, but sometimes personal trainers, not all personal trainers, fitness people, they can let's just say they can overstep certain boundaries with clients that
Okay.
are not very professional, and
Got it.
that's something that is not a good thing. It happens. I personally myself, I don't cross those lines, but who's to say that someone that you hire
Hmm.
wouldn't cross that line? And if they do something like that, and God forbid, like an altercation was to happen or an allegation was to happen, even
Right.
if they were contractors of your brand, which is something I would probably do, I wouldn't make them strict employees. They would have to be contractors.
Right.
Um, that could still hurt me in a
Yeah.
sense. Like it can hurt the reputation of the band and stuff. So, because obviously I'm not there physically watching them, so I don't know what they're doing. All
Right.
I have is I give them this person. I'm trusting that they're going to train them and be good to them. And obviously, what happens between the trainer who's training under my in my name and the client is whatever happens between them. I have no idea of what
Right.
goes on there other than what they tell me until,
Hmm.
God forbid, something bad happens and then I hear about it and I have a case to deal with. Now, I know
Right.
that's extreme, but,
Those things.
that can happen. Those things
Exactly.
happen.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so,
And sorry, go ahead, finish up.
oh, no, yeah. So for me, like, I'm a bit hesitant on that side of things when it comes to like having a team and and doing
Yeah.
all this other stuff because unless I have absolute confidence that they are
Mm-hmm.
never going to overstep that kind of boundary ever, even
Mm-hmm.
if they're offered onto a plate, no, 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 no. But then again, most people don't have that kind of willpower. So, it's a risk
Mm-hmm.
to do that. I'd have to really think about it before having a team in that sense.
Okay. That sounds good. And you kind of basically touch on some of the questions that I have, in terms of teaching style and your philosophy. You touched on,
Okay.
okay, maybe creating your team and so forth. How would you describe, to say, your teaching style if you were to start to create this team? Like, how would your teaching style be, and how would you create a supportive and motivating learning environment? Like,
I think okay. In terms of like when you say supportive and motivating environment, is that for trainers or clients? Because the approach would be a little different for
well,
those two
well, you could kind of tell me a
clients.
little bit for both.
Okay, I think I'll start with clients because I have some clients already that I'm working with in person and online. And
Okay.
for me, one thing I always do is I never judge them on their abilities. So,
Hmm.
um, and that's number one. So I never judge them on their abilities in a bad way, at least. Obviously, I critique them on certain technique points because that's one of the things of what I'm there to do. But I never make them feel bad, like, oh my god,
Hmm.
you can't even do one pull up. You see what I mean? Like I don't make them feel bad for stuff like that. And I also tell them that don't necessarily compare yourself to me either, because I've been doing this for a while, and even then I'm still like building up my skills and strengths in certain areas as well. So
Right.
that person that you see on YouTube doing all these crazy stuff, there are times where behind the scenes their performance might not be as good as you think it is. Obviously, it is pretty good for them to even be on YouTube to be doing that. But my
Right.
overall point is that there are times when I'm not feeling up to it. Like
Mhm.
even yesterday when I was doing like gymnastics practice, level 2.5 gymnastics practice, which is like a
Uh-huh.
high grade. Um, it felt weird, like
Yeah.
basic moves, well, moves that I consider basic.
Okay.
Again, this is what I say: don't compare yourself, but moves that I consider basic. I
Mm-hmm.
felt them. I felt a little bit. It felt a little bit difficult doing it
Mm.
yesterday, and I was kind of shocked. I was like, "Well, what's going on?" Like
Right.
normally this is a lot easier. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. But to be fair, the day before
Uh-huh.
I was doing like quite a very very intense gym session and all sorts of stuff. But I don't even really want to make those kind of excuses. The overall point is, some
Right.
days you're going to be on fire, some days you're not going to be on fire. It just is what it
Mhm.
is. So that's another thing I tell them, and I also tell them that this thing is a process as well. So if you're not seeing, there will be some results that you will see that are immediate,
Yes.
where your physical performance and certain things is great. You're
Mhm.
feeling better. Maybe you lose a little bit of weight. Maybe you put on a bit more muscle. That's great. But overall, you're going to have to give yourself a little bit of time and stick to the plan as well. So my teaching points, well, those are like the groundworks of what I tell people, so that they can kind of take what I'm saying on board and run with it for sort of long term benefit. And I also tell them, look, there will also be days where you'll wake up in the morning and you'll just be like, oh shit, no, I don't really want to do the session today.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, like even if it's an online session, sometimes you just be like, oh, I can't be asked to get my phone out and have Bernard watch me for a whole hour and
Right.
scrutinize what I'm doing and all this other. Yeah, there are days where that happens, and even then, I don't judge them for it. I'm like, look, if you don't want to show up to the session, just tell me like a day before, and then we'll reschedule. It is what
Mm-hmm.
it is. Like, I'm not the sort of guy where I push people to do the sessions. Like,
Okay.
don't get me wrong. I encourage you to do the sessions. It's in your best interest. It's what you
Right.
paid me a large sum of money to do. But at the same time, so I do remind them of that. But at the same time, I get that you're human, and I get that your passion for this isn't in some people have a passion for things and some people don't have a passion for things. But there's some things that you do out of necessity, and I just kind of remind them that look, if you
Yeah.
don't have a huge passion for it, it's not that
Hmm.
it's not meant for you. It's just that you don't have a huge passion for it, but that's okay. You have enough discipline to at least do something, and we can work with that. That's kind of where I'm at with it. So what I tell people is like, wherever you're at with it, I'll meet you where you're at with it, and then we go from there. I think that's to summarize that whole thing.
That's good. So you basically, you meet them at their baseline, and from there
Yeah,
you assess what they're able to do, and then you challenge them. Like again, you're not gonna beat them over the
yeah,
head. Oh, you need to do this, but you challenge them within good reason. And then some clients you might get that they can handle like really being grilled and challenging. So it's like, okay, you don't
yeah,
want to do
exactly.
20 push-ups or pull-ups. Let's go. Let's get it.
Yeah, exactly. Like there are some clients where I have a different approach for different people, so it's not like a one size fits all sort of thing. There'll be some people that are they kind of want the military experience where
Okay.
I'm almost like a drill sergeant to them, and I'm telling them what to do, shouting at them, and all this other stuff. They want that, and I'm like, all right, if that's how you want it, then that's how I'm going to serve it to you. But there are some other people where they prefer a little bit more of a docile approach, and it works better for them. And they kind of want me to tell them what to do, and
Yeah.
just critique them on their technique, and just make sure they're doing the homework and all this other stuff. And that's fine with me as well. So for me,
Right.
I just make sure that wherever you're at, that's kind of where I meet you, and then we go from there. And I also give people the opportunity to let me know what
Mm-hmm.
their experience is with me, if they want me to switch things up a little bit to make things a little bit more easy. Not necessarily easier for them, but easier for them in a sense where I can kind of communicate with them better, and
Right.
so that they can get a bigger experience. But one thing I
Mhm.
do want to let the audience know is that clients is a small part of the
Mhm.
thing that I'm working on. Like I think some people assume that clients are the be all and all of this. They're really not. I would say clients is like maybe 20% max
Mm.
of what I'm working towards here, because there are some personal trainers who they just want clients, they just want a list of clientele, and that is it, and that's absolutely fine with them. But for me, I'm kind of creating this whole thing into something much, much bigger than just,
Mm.
oh, he's got like 10 clients and then that's it. That's the sum total of everything this whole thing is. And he's
Okay.
going to leave it at that. Nah, clients is, it's nice to have clients, but then obviously they're important. I'm not saying they're not important,
Of course
but
they are.
yeah, of course, they're important, but they're not. For example, let's say if I got 100 clients right now that I
Uh-huh.
was serving, I would, and that was, and that was it. I would consider the project a failure,
Mm.
if I'm being honest with you. Again, that would be a huge sum of money, but I would consider the project a failure if it was just, oh, he amounted to just getting 100 clients and then that was it. Like that,
Right.
that's not the
What's success?
overall goal.
What would be success for you in your eyes?
Okay, so with this, I mentioned that it's a pathway to freedom. I hate saying that word sometimes because it sounds like so cheesy, but yeah, essentially it is a pathway to freedom. But there are so many different avenues that I want to take this thing in that I'm building towards. To where, let me just give you a list of some. So obviously, yeah, there's clients. So there's in-person clients that I
Mm-hmm.
have and online clients, but I want to build up the online client system even more, which I've got. I
Okay.
won't bore you guys with the details. I've got like certain things in the background. You'll see it in 2025 that
Okay.
I'm gonna, give out so that people can
Well,
see
they
all of
got to
that. But
connect to you so they could stay tuned for that.
yeah, yeah, you guys got to stay tuned for that. So you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've got Instagram, TikTok, all of that. So you'll see all of that there. But yeah, so obviously, yeah, there's clients both in person and online, and then there's online courses that I'm going to be creating as well. And then obviously the clothing line, I'm going to expand that massively, and then gym equipment is another thing as well. So it's not just going to be clothes; it's going to be gym equipment. Things like obviously, if you're into fitness, you'll know some of these terms: parallel bars, barbells, dumbbells, uh, gym benches, gym bags,
Mm-hmm.
protein shakes, things like that. Nutritional cookbooks with like 100 recipes and things like that,
Wow.
and mobile phone training apps that people can subscribe to. And then there, because obviously, yeah, you can go on Play Store or Play
Yeah.
Store, Apple Store, whatever it is, and you can search my brand name up. And then when the time comes, obviously not now, the training app will come there, and it will have tons of content. So you can just take out your phone and just do the training that will be on there. There'll be so much content on there that you can use. And another one will be thinking of writing a book as well. Um, that will be another great idea. That I've kind of got in the background that I'm working on. So, and that's just to name a few. So there are, like I said before, if I only amounted to just getting 100 clients, to me that would be a bit of a, it would be a bit of a failure because there's so many like avenues that you can expound upon.
Hello.
Hello, yep, still here.
I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Nah, it's fine. It happens on live streams all the time. It is what it is. But did you hear what I said the last bit?
No, I did not hear it. I missed it. So please share again. That's when I was
Yeah,
frantic.
no,
Just like, where is he?
yeah, no, no. I was basically just saying that the different avenues that I wanted to take it in. So I've said, in-person clients, online clients, mobile phone training app, uh, a website, what was it, a clothing line, which I mentioned. Also, gym equipment as well. So things like parallel bars, barbells, dumbbells, benches, and protein shakes, things like that. Also, there's a platform called Uscreen, which is sort of like a Patreon platform
Uh-huh.
where people pay you a certain amount to get certain content every single month. So that's another thing. Also, collaborating with people within the modeling and fitness industry, and I've already started to do that because there's a friend of mine who's a supermodel that I work with, and she does
Yeah.
amazing work in and of herself. I think I've got videos of her. You've seen, I don't know, you might have seen, but she's an actual supermodel that does amazing work in the Philippines, and working with her has been a very good pleasure as well. So, kind of like branching off into that area of things as well, which I've already started to do, but kind of building upon that. So, yeah, like there are tons of avenues that I plan to take it in. And what I was basically saying is that
Mhm.
if it just amounted to just having 100 clients, that would be obviously money wise that would be great, but it would be a huge disappointment because the
Mhm.
grand scheme of this thing in my mind is so much more than that. And another avenue is I have a charity that's dedicated towards helping orphans in third world countries. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, and what I want to do is I've kind of wanted to mix this with that. So
Okay.
so whilst the incomes are being generated from online remote sources, that frees me up from not needing to stay in any one location. Because obviously, if you're making online and remote income, then you're not, essentially trapped in whatever country you're from. Like you can travel to another country and still generate that source of income without having to physically do anything in your home. Like for example, if you're a truck driver, then
Right.
you have to show up at your designated routine. Like you can't go to another country and still make the money of a truck driver in that country. Well, you can, but obviously, do you know what I mean? You
Right.
have to reset things up in that country and do things that way. But you can't be an online truck driver. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like there's
Yeah,
certain
I
things
hear
that
you.
you can do online and certain things that you have to do in person, like in the suits. So yeah, so I kind of cleverly designed it that way so that it can free me up to be able to just travel wherever I want, when I want, without having to think about things like annual leave or all the money or the
Right.
location, the duration of how long you can stay for. I won't necessarily have to worry too much about that because I've already put things in place that frees me up to be able to,
Yeah.
go to the other side of the world for 4 months without having to worry about some boss
Mm.
messaging me saying, "Hey, your 3 weeks of annual leave are up." No, I don't want to hear any of that. I don't
That's
want to hear any of that. Yeah, like, because for me, the mission that I have in mind requires me to be able to have that kind of mobility. Because if you want
Right.
to take something across the whole world, obviously, yeah, the internet is there, but at some point,
Mhm.
you need to go out there physically and just connect with people and meet people, and
Exactly.
yeah, exactly. Like sort of how we're connecting here. We're doing this
Mhm.
online, but there comes a point where you have to be able to physically get up and go to, wherever it is there are, and handle the business that way. And
Mhm.
you can't really be do you can, but you can't do it as flexibly as you want to if
Mhm.
you're, beholden to a certain occupation that won't give you the time to do that.
Right. It definitely takes a lot of willpower and planning and networking, because you can't do it by
Mm.
yourself. You
Yeah, of
may
course
manage
not.
to
No.
do it for a period of time on your own, because you know specifically what you want to do and what you want out of it. But like
Mm.
you said, at some point you're gonna reach where, look, I need some help. I need to network. I need to come up with some other strategy to work smarter and not harder. That
Mm. Yeah,
mentality
exactly.
kick in. So yeah, it sounds like you are really on your way. You know where you want to be, and you are taking the steps to get there.
Yeah, exactly. And the next steps that I'm taking are the a little system that I'm going to create. I'm creating. I've nearly completed it to get more online clients, but I'm also going to create my first online course soon as well. So
Okay.
those two things will be very, very useful in terms of giving me that mobility a little bit earlier on, so that
Right.
that way there will be a time soon. I would imagine within the next 18 months where I can be completely mobile to just be up and around and go here and go there. And I can kind of do it now because obviously I've already started all of it, but right now
Yeah.
it's not 100% wise for me to make such a leap. But because I've
Hmm.
already got certain things in place that I'm working on, I would imagine within 18 months I should be able to do
Time
that,
frame.
and then be able to kind of build things up from there.
Yeah, that's a realistic time frame, and if you get to it sooner, kudos to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's a plan in place. Things are working, but I'm just sort of keeping my head down and I'm just continuing to go off in that path and just make sure that certain things are done before the end of this year, so that it sets
Yes,
things up for 2025, so I can get the most out of it.
exactly. Well, I know that I shared your YouTube page, but before I go into it, I just want to say thanks to those who are tuned in to our live tonight with our special guest. Please tell us your name again so that they will hear and they also will see your page. I know your
Yeah.
name is
So
Alex.
yeah, my real name is actually Bernard. So that's my real name. Some people just call me Ben. Well, actually, a very very few people call me Ben, but my real name is just Bernard. So most of the time, people will just call me Apex because that's just the name that they see on YouTube. Very few people actually know. I mentioned it a few times on my live shows and on Instagram, but most of the time, people just call me Apex. But my
Okay,
real name is Bernard. Yeah, my real name is just Bernard.
gotcha. I mean, I don't have much of a nickname, but people who know me, family, it's Mish. I just add the So Royal in front of that to make it a little fancy.
Oh, okay. And then, well, you're entitled to add whatever nicknames and titles you want to, add to yourself. So if
Of
that
course,
works for you,
I'm
then yeah.
precious. We're all precious, and I believe my brothers and sisters are also royalty. So that's the mindset that I'm in, and
Well, that's a good, that's a good
that's the name
mindset.
attached to my name, and that's just what it is. I believe everyone, has greatness in them. Everyone is royalty to me. You have something special in you, and that goes
That's
for
true. Yeah.
everyone, and that's why
Mm.
I added that to it. But again, before I go onto your YouTube page, I just want to say hello to everyone who tuned in. I'm going to do a roll call. I'm going to put you up on the screen. We have This Is Us and What We Do, which is being run by Mama Fisher right now, which is my mom. She's doing a lot of the chat replies in the comment section. We see this person here, SSCTV, which is on your
Yeah.
side.
One of my followers. Yeah. Seen him before.
Sweet. So yeah, you're gonna be seeing both of us from both channels. So if you tuned in, you're gonna see some people in the chat that you might not normally see. We're all merging pot in this comment section right now. Yeah, and I see
Cool. See, yeah,
being Mazan, I believe that's on your end, saying
yeah,
hello. Awesome. I see Susanna Mariha, proud single mother. Thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you. I think that's on your side as well, or my side. Look, they're in the chat and we're hailing them up and giving them the shout outs. We got
yeah. I
Rudy.
mean,
Huh?
no, I was just saying, yeah, like it's a good idea to like give them their flowers and give them their support as well. I think given the time, because my followers they normally expect me to come on certain days and certain times, so it's
Oh,
very sort of like out of the normal scope of time where most of them would come in. But it's really good either way though, because I think you can't. That's one of the things with social media. I think people limit themselves too much to certain times where everybody's going to come in here, so we should do this. I think you should just experiment sometimes and just kind of go
yeah.
out of your normal time zone and just see what happens because you never know. Like it could be a thing where you get better results from it than you think. So
So
that's
true.
sort of one thing I take from that. Yeah.
So true, because we typically do a lot of our interviews like this on Saturday evenings, but throughout the
Mm,
week, we don't have a set schedule. And so, my mom, while I'm at work, because I work in the field of education, at times
right.
she will run the lives with different things. She might go out and do errands. It could be
Mm,
just something as simple as bird watching, or she's out shopping or doing, whatever errand she's out doing her lives. And then usually when I have like my breaks, so I work along the school system calendar. So
hmm.
you have the Thanksgiving break. I'll have more time maybe to do more things from my
Yeah.
perspective. During the summers when we have our 2 months off as an educator to kind of
Yeah.
have time to do things. So that's where you might
Extended
see more
breaks.
of me. But I still try to. This is what I dedicate my time consistently on the Saturday evenings, and during the week is you might get me. I might do a little peekaboo, like, oh, I'm here, but
Mm-mm.
during those breaks is when, I kind of interact more with our fans and
Right.
subscribers when it comes to live. So yeah,
Right. I
I
see.
appreciate you guys like coming in this chat, because you guys are really participating, because I see even my cousin, he's in Jamaica, Peter Evan, he's watching and tuned in. I appreciate you. And I see another friend of mine, Angel Glory Crochet Handmade and Things. She's a good friend of ours. She's in the chat as well. I know not everybody who's watching is actually in the chat. So those I call silent listeners,
Yeah, there's always a couple of people that are just watching in,
which
but
is
they're not
great.
really saying anything. You never know who these people are. They can be anybody.
It could be anyone. And I appreciate them, because without them, we wouldn't be where we are right now. And we need both
That's
sides.
true.
We need people in the chat, silent listeners, to be on and participating. So
That's
yeah.
true. Everyone has their place in the whole thing.
And I appreciate it wherever you stand.
Mm, mm.
So yeah, I shared the screen to get to your channel, and if you are watching and you're not already subscribed to Apex State, definitely go to his channel. You'll see his page right here. This is what it looks like. Go there, subscribe for free, and join even, for special perks. So, I see a lot of videos here. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see.
I will add, if you do decide to join, then I would be supporting you on all your other social media platforms as well if you have them. So for me, I don't know if it's okay to do this. I've got an Instagram page, a TikTok page that we could bring up, and uh, obviously on those pages you can like directly communicate with me. I can add you to like my members group, and then we can give you more support for your business or
Yeah.
whatever projects you have there as well. And oh yeah, the links to them all are in funny enough, on my YouTube channel, so people can check those out when they can.
Yeah, because I wish I wasn't able to connect to Instagram and so forth. If I was, I would have definitely bring that up. But yes, definitely check his page out. In his description, he said that there are links to your Instagram and whatever contact information. So yeah, you could connect with him on Instagram and TikTok by the same name. So yeah, I'm gonna
And
actually, huh?
email lists and stuff, and email lists and stuff. I've got stuff like that, but that's only if people want, like, newsletters, and it's
Okay,
a free sign up thing. But yeah, that's just for, like, weekly publications that I send out to people.
right. Okay. Well, thank you for that tidbit. Oh, here are the links. I didn't needed to scroll down. So yeah, look,
Yeah,
easy click.
it's all
You could
there.
click his links in here, and see you have a free short weight loss ebook here for that. So that's awesome. You could click on that link for that. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, ooh, let me see. I'm going to copy your link here.
Hmm.
Let me see. I'm not really good. And I'm going to pin it actually. So let me see. This is what I can do. I'm going to copy and paste. Copy. And I'm gonna put it in the chat. Mom, when you if you can you pin it? I can't do it for some reason on the live like this, but I'm gonna put your link in the live. That way people can
Oh
click on
yeah,
it
like,
and mom will pin it.
yeah, I see what you mean. Like, in the live chat. So yeah, it's a
Mhm.
pinned comment.
Yeah, let me see if I could do it. She can do it with the mobile device. For some reason, it's kind of tricky when I do it in here like this, but she will pin it because I put it in the chat. So yeah, you have a lot of different things going on here. I'm gonna click on one of your videos for those
Yeah,
who
go for
are.
it. Yeah.
So let's see, Smith machine squats. Let's see what's going on there.
Yeah, so that's a friend of mine, and an online customer. She bought one of my outfits,
Uh-huh.
as you can see. Um,
Right.
well, I mean, I don't know if people can actually see that, but if you look closely, she's got, like, the name and logo on the outfit there. And when did I send that to her? It was a few months back. And that's the thing right now. That's why I say I've been fortunate, because I don't have my online store set up yet. I'm gonna have that out in 2025, because first you need to get your logo trademarked before most of these platforms will allow you to
Okay.
start selling on an online platform. But she messaged me on Instagram. So right now I've just been doing it through Instagram. She messaged me on Instagram, and she asked for one of these outfits. I sent it to her, and
Okay.
in return, she was kind enough to, because she goes to the gym a lot as well. She was
Nice.
kind enough to, make a few. She sent me some selfies, some videos, and just to help me out and make some content with it. So I, I give that as an option for people who are online customers. It's not by
Mhm.
force. So if someone does
Right.
buy, like, a hoodie or an outfit off me or anything like that, they don't have to create, like, a little 10-second clip. But it helps me when they do,
Of
because there are
course.
times when, you know, there are times when because it's a brand that I kind of want other people to be associated with as well. So I want it to be a thing where people don't just think it's all me. So
Mhm.
because in a way, it really isn't just all me. Like, there are other people involved in it, in a sense. So I like to give them an
Right.
opportunity to come on the platform and get their moment as well.
Of course. Now, I would love to play the song, but sometimes we get like copyright issues on our
Yeah,
channel
that's
when we.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I muted for those who are not sure what I'm doing. But yeah, I mute the sound sometimes with different music. The music that you hear in the background is not copyrighted, so it's safe. But
Mhm.
yeah, I see
and
you
and
right here doing hip mobility exercises.
Yeah, this is for your hamstrings. It's quite intense, because I think
Mm,
people underestimate how strong that resistance band is, and then on top of that, there's an ankle weight as well. So it's
wow.
it's quite heavy. Like, it's a lot on your hamstrings, and it's for taekwondo conditioning. So
Mm-hmm.
right now, I'm at my teacher's place, and he's basically we're going through some drills and some exercises. Like, conditioning work is annoying sometimes, because it can be quite painful, but
Can
it's
imagine.
very you need to do it. Like, you need to go through the conditioning and the drills and all of that. But
Right.
yeah, no, you can't really improve without it.
Mm-hmm. And I
And
see.
this,
Uh-huh. Tell us
yep.
about the video.
Yeah, so that's a friend of mine. She lives in the Philippines, and she's actually a supermodel. And when I say supermodel, I don't mean like, and obviously this is no insult to Instagram models, but she's not an Instagram model in that sense. Like she's an actual supermodel. Like she's been in pageants, won crowns, and all of that. Like she recently won a crown in a massive nationwide pageant show in the Philippines,
Oh,
and yeah, like her Instagram page is really good as well. Like, yeah, you can see, all of the victories and everything like that. And we met in 2022 when I went to the Philippines. How I ended up in the Philippines is, trust, it's a very long story. It's a very long story, but
right.
yeah, like it was weird, like it because I wasn't really supposed to. You know, when you randomly meet people
Yeah.
and you sort of, I don't want to call it fate,
Hmm.
but you randomly meet people and unexpected people, and then you sort of run with it, and you're like, you know what, this isn't
Yeah.
quite
And things
what
align.
I figured. Yeah, it's like this wasn't quite what I figured, but I can see
Mhm.
maybe, I would even dare to say maybe the hand of God in this. Maybe I don't know if that's a term that people kind of subscribe to. I see something going on here. I see this could be a good opportunity. Let me run with it, and it turned out that yeah, it was a pretty good opportunity. So um,
That's
we
great.
do we do work here and there together, and we have some plans that are coming up in 2025 that's going to help her
Hmm.
get more involved. But if you go through more of the videos, you'll see she's got tons of videos. But yeah, that outfit that she was wearing is one of the yoga outfits that's going to go on the online store and other things that will go in the future. But right now, it's better to get things started as opposed to waiting for a perfect opportunity. So we're making some content with it right now.
Great. Amen. I'm glad that, we are at the beginning stages of that big turnout. So, if when you subscribe, you will stay tuned and you will see all of the success that, that you're talking about, that you're planning to do. You will see it in real time. So, yeah, this is a
Yeah,
wonderful opportunity. I'm glad
that
we
we're
were able
working
to
towards.
do it before, it goes to the next level.
Yeah, you guys are catch me early. That's what I tell people.
Yep.
Catch me early.
Yep. Like you said, you meet you mentioned that guy that just a regular guy you said like during a pandemic that created a YouTube channel and like within a short period of time had like how many hundreds of thousands subscribers. I've followed people in their earlier stages of being on YouTube. This is before even the pandemic, and like to know that I'm still following them now and to see how far along that they've come is such a great story, and it's really encouraging um
Yeah,
and motivating to say, hey, wherever you are, you could turn this into something great. It's just a matter of keep working at it. As you said, you have your plan, you lay your foundations, and you just
and
you
you just
just
keep
keep
at it.
moving.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you
Whether
just
you
keep
know
at
what
it.
you're doing or not, just keep moving.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's better to do something. It's better to do something because I mean there are tons of people that theorize and theorize and theorize, but they ultimately produce nothing because they're just
Yeah.
so busy rummaging with the ideas in their head that they don't actually do anything. But you need to get into a point where you just say, "All right, I don't have all the answers, but I know that I need to at least create a page. I need to at least create like an online platform. I need to at least do this. Let me start out with that and then build it up and then go from there. Because I started out on Instagram actually. Like I started out on
Oh,
Instagram. Yeah, like I never started out on YouTube first. Like YouTube was
okay.
the third platform that I created. I started out on Instagram, and then someone suggested having a TikTok page. And when she made that suggestion to me, at first I was against it because I was like, oh, TikTok. I don't want to be one of these people that dances on TikTok, and I don't. It's okay if other people do it, but for me, that dancing on TikTok is just not for me. But I found it to be very useful to have a TikTok page because it was not only is it another platform that people are used to, but it's also pretty good just in terms of like building up the mailing list and all this other stuff. So I found it to be a pretty good investment to have a TikTok page.
Hello, I'm back. You know, we're having some technical issues. You know what it is? Just
Okay, I can hear you now.
great. And we might have to cut it before it happens again just this week. I guess I've had this laptop and I've really been running it. I saw a notification for replacing my battery, saying my battery, something with my battery has failed.
Oh,
I had this a couple of years.
I see. I see. Okay, so in that case, we got wrap things up soon. Is which is fine by me. If you need to make sure that I think it's happening again because you're frozen. Don't know if you're still talking or not. Let me just respond to some people in the comments. Hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Oh no, it's absolutely fine. I think what we can do is we can finish the rest another time, and maybe I'll schedule, if possible, maybe we can schedule it around a time where more of my audience will be awake, and then we can get like more traction and more people involved. But yeah, no, I think that's fine. Like it's not a problem. These things happen. So maybe we can end it now, and then we can reschedule for another time where more people from my side as well will be awake, and then we can have more people participating in the live show.
Yes, sorry to cut you, but it might cut me off again. But if it does, I appreciate you coming in and doing this interview with us. Again, for
Mhm.
those who saw me disappear, it's due to some technical issues. My battery says something about being failed or something. So I think I have to like purchase a new battery. I think it's run its course possibly. But
Probably, yeah.
I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's been fun. Like I think it's been a good opportunity. And extreme fitness junkies, I believe that was it. Yeah, I'll help you out. Just send me a DM on Instagram or email me, either one, and then I'll be able to get back to you with some more practical tips. Obviously, I can't give you all of the tips in right here because I'd have to type it all out and it would be long. I'd have to explain it all right now, which isn't the main questions that I'm being asked. But obviously, I'd like to help you out and give you some time outside of this, where it's more like on a
That's my
one-to-one
good
basis, and
friend.
then
So yeah,
we can
he's
go.
really into health and fitness.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, if he emails me or DMs me on Instagram, then I'll be able to kind of give him more of my attention when I get those messages and like think it through, check out his page and everything else, and kind of see where he's at and how to kind of boost things up from there.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we thank you so much, and again, we will definitely do this again. This won't be the last. I had a lot of fun. This was a great. Clearly, I didn't go over those questions I had. It was a great
Yeah,
conversation.
no.
We learned a lot.
Yeah, as long as we're learning and we're improving, and that's all that really matters.
Exactly, exactly. So, without further ado, we're gonna close off our session for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to our guest Apex Brandon. So we thank you. We
Bernard,
want you, Brandon.
Bernard,
Huh?
Bernard. My name's Bernard.
Okay, so sorry I messed that up.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's not a problem.
But please connect to his YouTube page and his social media, TikTok and Instagram, and be sure to tune in and see how he goes to the next level with his dream, with what his vision is, with what he wants to do. So we thank you and God bless you, and we shall connect again.
Cool. I'll stay tuned, guys. One last thing. On the next live show, we'll try to do it around the time where more of my audience will
Yeah.
be awake as well, so that way you guys can connect to more people, and you can get more people subscribing to your channel and helping you out as well.
Awesome. Thank you for that. We would definitely go with that. That would be great.
Cool.
All
Nice.
right, everybody.
Cool.
Bless up and
All right.
good night.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
The family that prays together, will stay together. Remember, at the Bodies Family YouTube is a rise. When we say like, subscribe. This is us and what we do. What? This is us and what we do. What? This is us and what we do. Hold on, them let me name out the crew. Hold on, them Mama Fish are so royal. Meech, you bless. Macho Man Blaze and Little Princess. This is YouTube channel are the best. Yes, YouTube channel are the best. Remember, we pray together, all VK together, every day together. Come and watch we play together. Like, subscribe. Remember, you're not gonna top laugh till your belly hurt you. Again, hey, this is us and what we do. What? This is us and what me say sometimes. Me say, oh God. Me I wonder which one of them have sense. I don't know. Alright, sit down and watch that episode. Remember, like, subscribe, and we need to hear from you. Leave a comment. We are encourage every other family to do what we are do too. We family happy. The family that prays together, will stay together. Remember, at the Bodies Family YouTube is a rise. When we say like, subscribe. This is us and what we do. What? This is us and what we do. What? This is us and what we do. Hold on, them let me name out the crew. Hold on, them Mama Fish are so royal. Meech, you bless. Macho Man Blaze and Little Princess. This is YouTube channel are the best. Yes, YouTube channel are the best. Remember, we play together, all VK together, every day together. Come and watch we play together. Like, subscribe. Remember, you're not gonna